Hello, everyone. Clinic
Hi.
Boost Method podcast number 34.
34.
Let's do it.
Good stuff. So, Alex, what have we got for our listeners today?
Well, now we have actually a very good quote from a book by James Clear called Atomic Habits. And the topic of today is you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems.
Yeah. And we will give you some very practical applications about how that, of course, applies to your clinic and your admin staff, especially when day doesn't go as you expect.
Exactly. And I wrote some notes here, so we are organized this time, right?
Yeah.
And basically, how we see it is there are like three stages of clinics when we work with. And the first stage is they usually like, oh, okay, we are doing good. Do you have any goals? Like, no, we just, the patients are growing, we think, and we are just working every day, like spinning the wheels basically. So that would be the first stage. I call it like a freestyle,
And
basically.
it's the most typical one.
It's very typical. You
Yeah.
would be surprised because I'm on the calls with many clinics, and I always ask them like, okay, guys, what are your goals for this year? And you would be surprised if I'm not on the phone with clinic owner, and it's usually maybe someone from admin staff. There's like no goals. Like, we are doing great. Everything is great. And when I would ask the same question, clinic owner, I have a very different answer. All right. So that's very interesting to see this misalignment between the admin staff and the clinic owner, because the owner, he has goals,
Yeah. And another difference is why it's called like freestyle is because typically the doctor is highly trained and good at his job.
Yes.
And the nurses would have been trained as well to be nurses to assist the doctor. However, the admin team have never really gone through serious training to be the best that they can be at their jobs, about how to handle patients, how to attract patients, how to work with patient inquiries, how to get reviews, how to get referrals, and so forth. So in a way, it's freestyle. They're at the default system in a way. This is where the system comes in.
Yeah.
They go back to the default of what they think they should do, and that becomes default for years and years and years and years.
Never changing.
Yeah.
And then they're wondering like why we are not scaling up. But that's a different topic. The second stage is that they actually have goals, like clearly written goals, like, yes, we want to increase this number, let's say by 30% in this year, right? And that's really cool, and everybody should have goals. But there's a problem as well with that, because it's worthless to have a goal if you don't have systems in place that support reaching that goal.
Yeah. I'll take that a step back further. So it's good to have a goal, but they need to know exactly where they are so they know how far they are from that goal.
Absolutely.
So like you said with the example, I want to double my patient numbers. So how many new patients are you treating per day on average at the moment for the past week? Oh, good. I don't know, 2, 3, 4. Okay, how many new patient inquiries did you get last week? I don't know, 20, 100. Like, these are guesses, So
Absolutely.
for that goal to be really tangible and for the able to really write it down, uh, they need to know the numbers, which we've talked
Absolutely.
about so many times in so
Yeah.
many podcasts. But that's go back to our old podcasts if you want to.
That's absolutely the
listen to us.
foundation, I would say, of Clinic Boost method as well.
And that helps you set realistic goals. So wildly like motivating, important goals, but very realistic. It's not like triple my patients and then you realize you're only one doctor. And if we tripled your patients, you'd probably not be married. As you wouldn't be going home anymore.
Yes. Very true. Yeah. And then we come to the third stage, and that's what we wanted to talk about, is to actually not only have goals but also systems that you do every day, and that helps you to actually achieve that goal.
Yeah. So they go from default and then they're going up to, okay, I have a team, I have my goals set, and I know what systems have to be in place. And then the big, the real stage is they have a system in place that actually takes over when those systems fail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good one
So
as well.
that's another way of looking at it. So let's go back to that quote. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to your levels of your systems. As we know, like we've worked in clinics for many years, like it's stressful, and very rarely does the day go as you expect. You come into work, you expect to do, train your team, treat patients, have a coffee in this break, and go home at this time. And very often the day just gets completely lost. And I can think of a number of examples we have at the moment of clinics that are saying, yes, we will do your program when things get back to normal.
Exactly. We will
And,
never get back to normal. Yeah.
their default system is not, there isn't a default system. Or I'd say the default system is very, very weak. So back to normal for them will not happen until they actually put the systems in place to normalize whatever's happening around them. Yeah.
That's very true. What you said. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're listening and you're one of those clinics that have been in long-term communication with us and keep putting it off until it's the right time to put those systems in place. The right time is well past. Let's train your team. Let's get those systems in place. And then, like the problem we have with some clinics at the moment, what do you do when that system fails? When there's a missing piece? You're not able to treat patients because the doctor's off, or COVID happens. You even have to close your clinic. Or your receptionist calls up in the morning, her daughter is ill, I can't come into work today, I have to stay at home with her. Systems in place to cover the systems that you already have in place.
This is absolutely necessary. And I would be very curious to learn, like, what systems do you use right now in your clinic? Do you think they are good enough? And also, what kind of backup systems you have if, let's say, one of your doctor get ill, especially now during COVID, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So important to have these systems, these backup systems in place. You never know when your receptionist will, okay, I have COVID, and you will shut everything down, or what. You need to have some backup plan to to survive.
Yeah, and the typical, like the default mechanism is that the doctor's off. Okay, then we will just not treat patients for the next 2 weeks. And X amount of money, revenue, and brand has gone, and patients are lost. There needs to be something in there to cover. Or reception is off, so then we have to pull in, nurses, or something's not covered. The reception is not covered, and the level of patient experience, drops dramatically during that time.
Yeah, the reception is, to me, that's like a, in a way, I would say, silent killer when she's off, or he. Usually clinics, they say like, okay, it's okay, like one day they will be off, and it's no big deal, right? It's just calls, and we're gonna do the rest
calls
of
and
stuff.
emails. So emails are not answered, calls are not answered.
Yeah, and it's amazing how much money you lose, because if you think about it, how many calls didn't get picked up, and those potential patients just go to another clinic. They are not going to wait for you. So the huge amount of revenue lost like this, and it seems like such a small thing, like, oh, it's just one day off, but it could be like
and
20,
Sarah
30,
will
50,000.
So it means Sarah, the nurse, will sit at the reception desk, but she's not doing the phones, she's not doing the emails. She just sit there, just so that
Exactly.
it's covered.
Yeah.
So we fall. This is really it. We fall to the level of our systems. Put the right systems in place. Yeah.
Do it.
Clinic Boost, 5 systems. If you want to know more about them, just let us know.
Yeah. Just go to clinicboostmethod.com.